everybody. Welcome to the Scotty B Show. Today, we're talking about one of the Detroit Tiger greats, Mark Fridrych. He had one great year, but what a great year it was because of injuries. Um, after halfway through the '77 season, he couldn't pitch much anymore. But in 1976, I mean, he was on everybody's mouth. That's all everybody talked about. The Tigers team was no good. I think they finished 74 and 87, similar to that. And but that's everybody talked about, uh, not only in Detroit but in the baseball world. Was this man here, Mark Fridrych? So let's get started with the quote from one of his teammates, Ron LaFleur. He quoted in Sports Illustrated in April 2009. He said, "Man, I loved Mark. I hung out with him whenever I could because you knew you were with a guy who was genuine and real. That was the bird, genuine and real." Nicknamed the Bird because of his resemblance to the Sesame Street character Big Bird, pitcher Mark Fridrych was one of baseball's all-time great quirky characters. His idiosyncrasies included talking to the ball, shaking the hands of the infielders after a good play, and patting the mound to smooth it out. Fridrych was signed by the Detroit Tigers and scout Joe Kuziak as a 10th round pick in the 1974 amateur draft out of high school. At the age of 21, Fridrych made the Detroit Tigers out of spring training in 1976. After seeing very limited action as a reliever in the early part of the season, one inning of work in the first 6 weeks, Fridrych was given a spot start on May 15th, which he won. After one more spot start in late May, he was added to the rotation on May 31st. He proceeded to reel off a string of complete game victories, and in his dominating performance and colorful mound antics, made him an instant national star and a 1976 All-Star. On a meteoric fifth-place Tiger squad, his celebrity status, in fact, transcended the world of baseball. He was a quotable character to whom the national media took an instant shine. As an example to his appeal, Fridrych was the first athlete to make the cover of Rolling Stone. Within the world of baseball, and especially in Detroit in 1976, Fridrych was a star of massive proportions. His 18 home starts out of 81 home games accounted for half of Detroit's attendance figure that year, and he was a popular draw on the road also. Statistically, he was also a marvel. In essentially two-thirds of a season, Fridrych pitched 250 innings, won 19 games with the sub-500 Detroit Tigers, was American League Rookie of the Year, and the runner-up for Cy Young Award. He also led the league in ERA and in complete games with 24. I think I think the Cy Young Award winner was Jim Palmer that year. However, Fridrich's time at the top of the game was short, as he was plagued with arm injuries. Tigers manager Ralph Houck later received intense criticism for likely causing or adding to these arm troubles by allowing a 21-year-old rookie to pitch so many innings, often on only 3 days rest. This was an especially galling waste of future potential when it is taken into account that the 1976 Tigers were nowhere near playoff contention. And while the fans wanted to see Fridrych as much as possible, Houck had no need to press Fridrych as hard as he did. In 1977, Fridrych was limited to 11 starts after tearing cartilage in his knee in spring training. He returned to the big leagues on May 27th, and amazingly, Houck again kept him on the mound for as long as possible in each game. Fridrych completed 7 of his first 8 starts. In his 9th start, a game against the Baltimore Orioles, Fridrych felt his arm go dead. He was roughed up for 6 runs in 5 2/3 innings in that start, and for another 6 again over 5 2/3 innings in his next start. In the following game against the Toronto Blue Jays, Fridrych left after 2/3 of an inning due to arm problems, and he did not return to the Tigers that year. It was ultimately discovered that Fridrych had torn his rotator cuff, but this would be Diagnosed until 1985, after his baseball career was long over. Pitching with the tear, Fridrych kept plugging away at restarting his career, appearing in only 16 games the next 3 seasons, all with Detroit. His last major league appearance came against the Blue Jays in Toronto on October 1st, 1980. Released by Detroit at the end of 1981, Fridrych signed with the Boston Red Sox in 1982, but did not make it back to the majors. After his playing days, he went back to being a farmer, although he also later appeared in Neil Simon's 1985 movie, The Slugger's Wife. On April 13, 2009, Fridrych was found dead beneath the pickup truck he had been apparently working on at his farm in Massachusetts. Mark Fridrych, for his notable achievements in his short career, 1976 American League Rookie of the Year Award, 1976 Topps All-Star Rookie Team. He was a two-time American League All-Star in 1976 and 1977. He was American League ERA leader in 76, American League complete game leader in 1976. He won one season, he won 15 games. One season he had 200 innings, both seasons 1976. Rookie of the Year, two-time All-Star, ERA title. Mark Fridrich's career numbers were 11.3 WAR, 29-19 record, 3.10 earned run average, 58 games, 56 of them as starters, 412 in the third innings, 170 strikeouts. His whip was 1.203. Again, that one season, 1976, anybody that was alive, anybody that watched baseball, anybody that did not watch baseball in Detroit especially, you remember Mark Fridrych. You remember the name. As I said, my mother was not a baseball fan, but when I would go down to Detroit to see her, that's all she talked about was Mark Fridrych. Mark Fridrych, one of the great Detroit Tigers. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you all have a great day, great night, whatever the case may be. We'll see you next time on the Scotty B Show.